Oh man, I got a high score! Hello everyone, my name is Wade the Wallaby, aka Wade Warner. I'll be talking about how would we even play multiplayer on games. By the way, there is a link into the stream that is actually a follow-up to that, so please check it out. It explains, some detail. But what I'm going to say is what will be like. Now, to be honest with you, it's interesting. Now, basically, we'll skip a lot of the stuff. If you need some of this stuff to have the information the same, check the video down below. And okay. Let's just say I'm playing a game, maybe like Team Fortress 2 or Team Fortress Classic, Day of Defeat, or Day of Defeat Source. No, not Source. Or anything else on Steam. And you go play. It'd be like, if I was on Mars, okay, with the current technology by using Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter or the Mars Odyssey or any of the orbiters, yeah, it would take 14 minutes. But let's simulate that. I'm not going to go by basically waiting for you just to have a transmission for, but no, let's go small. By the way, if you are playing a game, and I believe latency is because I believe is how far, if you're playing a game and people are like jittering and stuff, that's called lagging. What happens is you are more faster than the player. So remember, if you don't know about multiplayer, it's a system that can be used for playing me. So just like if I was playing a video game like Team Fortress 2, and you have the other end, another player, a real life player, which like a human being, what happens is you can play and then you can see that person in that game, except it's complicated if you don't know anything about computering or anything about gaming. But if you don't know much about gaming, I suggest you go play some games. But if you have no idea what a video game is, I'm sorry, but let's get to it. So let's just say I am playing like Battlefield 1. Now remember, 14 minutes is the maximum average average sorry about that. What was I? Oh yes. Uh so if I was playing like Team Battlefield 1 and I was going to play a game, a round of, Battlefield 1, and I'm on Mars and there is a friend over there that requested to fight or just play. It would take 14 minutes for that and obviously the round will already end. But let's just say we're on the moon. Now the moon, remember, is very close. And I don't know how many minutes or seconds it takes for information to go to the moon. I think it's more shorter, but it would be latency. It would be more laggy than if you were around the Earth. So if you were communicating somebody in UK, it would take that fast. Sort of, if you're in America. This is America. By the way, Starlink, so if you were, no wait, geometric satellites, if you were using instead of cable on multiplayer, the best guess is using geometric satellites. If you have no idea what that is, then you're going to have to do some small research. You don't have to take any research. Never mind. Just if you don't know. By the way, geometric satellites is a satellites that are the primary purpose of your TV. But they're not just TV, they're also GPS and communications. But the GPS ones are like in different types of orbits that are polar orbits, equator orbits, and some of them, but they're geometric satellites are far away, but they're not as far as the moon. That's the same speed as 24 hours. I think technically you would have actually went in orbit around the Earth 24 hours. I meant I don't know. I probably am wrong. Because the closer you get to the Earth, the more faster you go. For instance, go ahead and go in a circle, in a racetrack, or I should say a track, and you run. Try to go to the lanes, the farthest one, and see how many minutes you wasted. Then go to the closest one to the track and clock your time. Well, that's going to be confusing because, or something like that. And then you'll see time, it takes less time the closer you get. Eventually, you go faster as there is less distance to achieve. So it's like that. The closer you are, but instead of radio waves or information waves to light speed, it takes, I don't know. I should have learned about that. But yeah, 14 minutes is a long time. So it'd be like waiting for a long time. But by the way, the person in the video in the description, he didn't describe the moon instead of werewolves, but they don't exist. But hang on, let me just. So yeah. I should have maybe I'll do another stream about the moon, but that was an accident. So if I was playing a game and I said it multiple times. So yeah, I was playing a game. And if you move your character, it would take 14 minutes for that person that is observing you. It'd be like waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting and then finally 14 minutes later, your character moves. So to simulate that, we will have to have maybe some math. I don't know. Instead of doing it on Earth, which means I guess there will be like a delay, which means that person that you see is on Mars and you are on Earth. Or I should say, I'm on Mars, he's on Earth. So yeah. So there's live. And you basically do some stuff instead of, well, I should say, transmitting information. How about putting a server on Mars? That way, it will be instantaneous, but only Martian people can only view it. So it will kind of get boring because there'll be less people on Mars if you're playing multiplayer, in different colonies. But yes, but don't worry. Information such as updates can be possible into schedules, which means when the Mars rotates, the video does explain it, but I'm going to give you also a recap of it. So if there is a station at Albertera and you are living in the United States and you send a signal to a satellite and it will beam all the way to Mars at Albertera, 14 minutes later, the information is passed. So it means updates. If you have Steam, I think it should be called Google Mars or Mars Steam or anything with Mars probably make to fit in to organize things. Like every single company and stuff will have to have Mars or something like that. Just so it means you have to have your own server. You have to have your own, basically, yeah. But yeah, you can always update it every time. So on Earth, we'll send commands like updating software. If there's a new update, it will be prefabricated and sent to Mars. And then it will be downloaded to the rest of the computers. 14 minutes is a while. But let's go even further instead of Mars. Pluto. It takes about 6 hours, judging about New Horizon. I think, 6 hours. Yeah, you probably would have basically just given up. Yeah, it's impossible. It would be like, if you were playing a game, it would be impossible. It would have to be at least a 10-hour game. Just, but yeah, definitely multiplayer can be possible on the moon. It will be laggy, but it will be advantage as the time is less. It would be a limited latency, but it would be interesting to have colonists on the moon. So I don't think they would be, it's a server. There might be because of latency, but you gotta know it's pretty close. Well, time delay, but still, it's quicker than Mars. And Mars differentiates in its orbit. If the Earth and Mars are away from its orbit, then there is one problem. The sun will block the radio waves, and there will basically be a blackout, which means multiplayer will just be stopped immediately. So that's a problem also. But on the moon, you don't have to worry about it. You're tightly locked. The only problem is Earth rotates. So the geometric satellites will have to, or satellites orbiting it, will have to be around the moon for if you play Kerbal Space Program, I want you guys to demonstrate that by putting satellites around the moon and try to communicate. But yeah, and try to have like outposts on the surface, in different areas, and demonstrate that. That would take a while. If you would, but still, communication is very widespread. If you're, we have to plan this. I mean, seriously, that's like, if you would, people would be very angry. So yeah, multiplayer is interesting if you would have played it with friends. So if you were trying to message somebody from Steam saying, "Would you like to play? Come over and play." Be like, "Okay." Some seconds or something like that later, "Okay, I'm here." And I believe it might be more laggy. So if you were playing Counter-Strike Global Offense, the lag would be kind of bad, as your character would be live for you. Actually would be laggy because the server is that far. It's really confusing because it'd probably be more slower. Somebody probably killed you already. Actually, that might be cheating because if you lag so bad, that's because of game mechanics. If you know about how to play a game, then you probably know what I'm talking about. You see, when players actually lag, their hitboxes, if you're trying to kill somebody, not really. And you try to, the bullets may just go through because I guess the hitbox just goes away. I am not a computer expert, but I do know some games have different types of programs or sources or something like that. A player could be just walking in place and then will all of a sudden just teleport, No, it won't be like that. It would be like, it would be smooth. If you were both having good reception, it would actually not jitter. It would just be like way behind schedule, which means if you're shooting at somebody, it should work if you're on the moon. And it won't be no problem because I don't know how lag causes lag. May jitter? I'm not sure. Please tell me in the comments below and I will answer them, whatever it is. So yeah. It's interesting when you try. It's interesting when you try to interesting to do stuff. Now, obviously, I also did some not research, but there is some proposal for satellites around Mars. Now, if this would have worked, or blah blah blah, here would be the satellites that have not, or landers, or even etc. that were canceled. Oh, I can't help it. My eyes feel so bad. Don't know why my eyes hurt. I don't know. Never mind. It's called telecommunication satellite, and I believe if that would have there, probably used it. If I can find it on Wikipedia, I think it's uh, I love you. Let's see. Sorry. This is terrible. How embarrassing. Spacecraft mission to Mars. There we go. Failure, failure, failure. Huh. Sorry, I was just looking at something. It says successful. I love you. Sorry, I was distracted. Oh yeah. The undeveloped concepts. Mars communication, which was a 2009 concept for communications. But it was canceled. It says the spacecraft would arrived high orbit above Mars in 2010 and relayed data packs to Earth. On July 21st, it was announced that MTO had been canceled due to need supports of other short-term goals. So yeah, you can read about it on Wikipedia. But yeah, I don't know why. But yeah, I checked the undeveloped concept. They're pretty interesting. I'll probably leave this, on. So, I love you. So yeah, that was a little bit of information for that. I hope you enjoyed. I'll see you guys in the next live stream. I love you.